Kimi Raikkonen has easily been one of the biggest racing stars throughout his entire professional career, and especially during his biggest days in Formula One. Recently, he has just announced that he will be leaving the sport as retirement is on the horizon. So what is happening around his retirement, and how has his career been? Well, stay tuned, because today we're going to cover Kimi Raikkonen's retirement and his career, legacy, and net worth. First up, Kimi Raikkonen's retirement. We all know that Kimi Raikkonen has been one of Formula One's leading talents for years now. He has been consistently pretty great at the sport and has led an amazing career. Just a few months ago, we heard that Kimi Raikkonen would be retiring from Formula One at the end of this current 2021 season. It's some very sad news, but it means he will be hopefully leaving on a pretty great high note of his career. This decision will pave the way for Valtteri Bottas to replace him at Alfa Romeo and for George Russell to move on to Mercedes next season. It also has some pretty large ramifications inside the Formula One market of drivers. Alfa Romeo has obviously lined up Bottas as the replacement for Raikkonen once he leaves, and for Russell to become Lewis Hamilton's partner. This means that the market itself will be swapped up quite a bit, as more players might be in the running for some higher positions in the Formula One world. Raikkonen went on social media to talk about his retirement. He stated, "This is it. This will be my last season in Formula One. This is a decision I did during last winter. It was not an easy decision, but after this season, it's time for new things. Even though the season's still on, I want to thank my family, all my teams, everyone involved in my racing career, and especially all of you great fans that have been rooting for me all this time. Formula One might come to an end for me, but there's a lot more in life that I want to experience and enjoy. See you around after all of this. Sincerely, Kimi." What an amazing farewell for such an amazing driver. Next up, what has his career been like? Kimi Raikkonen has been a top-tier driver throughout his long career and has some amazing moments. But what has his career been like? Well, Raikkonen has won 21 races over his career, which may be a small amount compared to legends like Lewis Hamilton, but 21 wins is actually an insane accomplishment as well. He made his debut back in 2001 and has been doing super well ever since. He did have some difficult seasons back in 2009 as he stepped away from the sport for a while. He returned to Formula One back in 2012 and has been pretty strong and important in the racing world ever since. He became such a popular figure in Formula One during his ventures. He was known as a man of few words, as he often gave very short and simple responses to journalists at Formula One events. This is because most of the questions they asked him he deemed to be stupid, but in the end it created this amazing character around him. Another thing he became popular for was because of his well-known radio messages to his teams throughout his career. While being in the lead of the Abu Dhabi 2012 Grand Prix, he famously said to his Lotus race engineer, "Leave me alone, I know what to do," which remains one of the most famous broadcasted radio messages in F1 history. It's been a great 20 years for Kimi Raikkonen, and his career has been very fruitful. He'll be remembered as one of the most consistent racers in Formula One history and will be in the minds of many for decades to come. He is one of those racers that is really hard to forget once he is gone. Stay tuned, because next we have two of the greatest moments from his career. First is Monaco 2005, a pole lap from the gods. To start off some of the greatest moments from throughout the legend that is Kimi Raikkonen's career, we have one of the most important and surprising ones. So what is it? Well, this is known as a pole lap from the gods, and it made so much sense why it is called that. At the time, and even now, Kimi Raikkonen wasn't known for being amazing at street circuits, nor for being a specialist at the Monaco GP. The Monaco race has always been a tricky one for Formula One racers, as it's one of the hardest yet most important races in any Formula One season, and this one was no different. In 2005, Raikkonen was facing this course once again, and he was fighting for the championship cards at the time. Kimi was driving for McLaren at the time, and he took pole by nearly a whole half in a second of his then rival Fernando Alonso. Alonso's car was arguably faster than Raikkonen's, but alas, Alonso couldn't outspeed him. Kimi Raikkonen took the fastest lap from every pole and took the lap towards the win at the end. It was an amazing race and showed just how amazing of a racer Kimi Raikkonen truly is, especially when under that much pressure. Next we have Suzuka 2005, the stuff of legends. Kimi Raikkonen has had some legendary moments throughout his career, but this win during 2005 in Japan was easily some of his finest work and comes down to being one of the greatest moments from his insane career over the past 20 years. This race was not looking good from the beginning for Raikkonen. He started in P17 because of a rainy qualifier and ended up dead last after a terrible start to the actual race. A crash pretty early on in the race meant a safety car was on patrol throughout the course. This crash left it so only Raikkonen could only score for McLaren, as Montoya crashed and was out of the race. As the race went on, Kimi took more and more places, slowly starting to give his team hope of getting a decent number of points, but that wasn't enough for Kimi. With some insane pace, Kimi harnessed what Michael Schumacher Schumacher used to do. Lap after lap, he closed the gap on the then leader Giancarlo Fisichella, but he still had to take over him. As this insane race was going into its final lap, Raikkonen threw everything he could into one move and went for it. He took the outside of the trace with the duo banging wheels. He was able to swoop around the outside of the leader heading into turn 1. This was just insane and easily the stuff of legends. At the time, people were freaking out that he came from dead last to one of the highest places in the race so quickly. Him taking over Giancarlo was just amazing and really cemented him as one of the best Formula One racers of all time. And finally, we have, what is his net worth and what does he make his money from? We all now know what Kimi Raikkonen has done throughout his career to cement himself as one of the greatest Formula One drivers in history, but how much did he earn and what is his net worth? Formula One drivers are known for being paid some insane amounts of money, and Kimi Raikkonen wasn't an outcast in that fact. At his peak, Kimi Raikkonen was earning around $50 million per year and was actually one of the highest paid athletes in the world. His net worth currently is actually around $250 million, which is just insane. He is easily one of the most successful Formula One racers of all time and is actually the most successful Finnish driver from the sport. He has won 21 races as of 2020 and has raced with many teams. The vast majority of Formula One drivers are sponsored by some huge company as it allows them to stay in the game. This usually comes from the team themselves, like Red Bull, or of course popular sponsorships like Monster Energy. Currently, it seems like his own personal endorsements are Oakley and Wrangler. In 2019, he even teamed up with the American brand West Coast Chopper to create and release his own clothing line called Kimi. Of course, throughout time, these sponsorships change and they fluctuate when they move teams. He has made some serious money from the combination of his team sponsorships and his own personal ones. He is just insane with money. Kimi is just like any other popular F1 driver, having lots of money and being sponsored by some insanely popular companies. And that's the end of the video. Even though Kimi Raikkonen is retiring, his career has just been insane, and it's super hard to forget his amazing achievements. Though he is leaving the sport, he will be missed and will be a part of the sports discourse for decades to come. Kimi Raikkonen will leave such a huge mark on the sport and will be as popular as ever whenever he decides to show back up on the sidelines of the sport. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with the notifications on. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.